Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Today we're doing the in-depth guide to Rocket Raccoon. This will literally be the only guide you need to watch to play this character well. And he is my top support that I play, and he's actually really easy for you to carry games with as support. Even if you're new to the game and a beginner and really bad at the game, I'm going to explain all this in this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. First things first, we're going to talk about his abilities and what they do, but then we're going to go in depth. I'm going to talk more in depth about his abilities, how to play the actual game with Rocket Raccoon, and if you copy this playstyle I'm going to teach you in this video, you are going to win a ton of games with Rocket just by being everybody's favorite pocket rocket and being a really good support. So Rocket is an amazing character, but people don't play him correctly, and I think that's why a lot of people sleep on him and don't understand the value he brings to the team compared to other supports like Luna and Mantis. So now you're probably asking, why even play Rocket? He doesn't have a support ultimate. He has an ultimate that boosts damage. He doesn't have the game-saving potential in the form of like a Luna Snow ult to save your team or like a Mantis ult. And I think that's why a lot of people sleep on him. But actually, he is really good at carrying games for some other reasons. So we're going to get into it in this video. First things first, we got to talk about his abilities. His primary fire is this Gatling gun here. Now this does 193 damage a second, which gives you a TTK of about 1.5 seconds for any hero with 250 health pool or 275 health pool, and it also gets a headshot multiplier. Look how fast you can actually melt people with Rocket at close range. Now, the thing about this gun is it's got a really slow projectile speed, and damage fall off starts at 10 meters and caps out to 40% at 20 meters. So at 20 meters, notice it's going to take us pretty much our whole clip to kill somebody. We got 7 shots left. Now at 10 meters, and I'm just going to go for body shots this time, it's going to take us about half a clip. The TTK is 17 bullets for anybody below 275 HP, and it's going to be more than that for anybody bigger. And this gun is most effective at close range. Now at long range, it's going to have some damage fall off. We'll talk about that more here in a little bit, and also the projectile speed. His heal is going to be his right click, his alternate fire. You shoot out these healing balls. They ricochet 10 times and they travel pretty fast, but when they're close to someone who's injured, they will actually slow down and heal that person, including yourself. So let me go over here and take some damage real quick so I can kind of show you guys what that looks like. So as you can see, as we get to the injured teammate, our healing balls, and they don't even have to be close. Look at this radius. Like if they're within 5 meters, they are going to heal, which is why I say Rocket's a really good support for beginners, because unlike Luna, where you have to like hit skill shots and like actually aim at your teammates to heal them, Rocket can keep his team healed and topped off super easily just because you don't even really need to aim. You just shoot a heal ball in the general direction of your teammates, it's going to connect. And this is why even new beginner players watching this guide are going to be able to carry and rank up super easy with Rocket just by keeping their teammates topped off. Even if you're playing with absolute potatoes, because I've had games with absolute potatoes, and I think the most primary role to carry a game, like if you don't have at least 2 supports on your team, you're gonna lose. Ideally you want 2 supports and maybe a really good tank. You can carry with tank too, you can carry with all the roles, but healing is the best role to carry with, especially with Rocket, because you can keep your teammates healed up and topped off, and even if they're the worst players at the game, if you're keeping them healed and they're just spamming their abilities, they're eventually going to get some kills and you guys will eventually win the team fight. And there's even a lot more to this. So like I said, they ricochet, so we can even bounce it off here, get some healings that way, and this opens up a lot of potential for this ability that other healers don't have. So for example, if there's somebody, let's say I'm teamed up with a dive melee assassin, and I've got like a Magic or Spider-Man who's just doing their own thing and they're like diving deep into the enemy base. Like no other healer, let's say I'm like playing over here and my teammates in that corner that I explained, there's no other healer that can actually reach them easily without repositioning. But notice I can play here undercover, and if I got a teammate down that hallway, I shoot this ball, it's going to ricochet and it's going to hit whoever's down that hallway. And this opens up a lot of cheeky angles and plays you can get to heal people with Rocket that no other healer can do. So he's actually really good even with like idiot dive assassins on your team. So that's his healing explained. Heals yourself when you're injured, heals your teammates too. So basically, when you're playing Rocket, you kind of almost want to be a heal bot, and you don't really want to use his primary fire too much. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. His left shit is a 10-meter dash. Notice we have 10 meters here. We're going to dash forward for 10 meters, and you get 2 charges of this, so you can dash forward for 20 meters. He's also got a wall crawl, which is amazing. If you go on any wall, you can crawl really fast. And then whenever you're on the high ground, if you hold spacebar, you have this like slow glide to like descent down to the low ground, so you can stay in the air for a little bit. His E is his BRB. This is a respawn tool. It does have a radius, so anybody on your team who dies within 50 meters of this BRB will be instantly respawned. And this ability is why Rocket is so easy to carry with, because having a free respawn is super powerful on the field. Because in Marvel Rivals, you want to take fights basically 6v6. And then if you're a man down, you really don't want to take a 6v5 fight in most situations, because it's just, you know, it's not really practical. So the thing with the BRB is that even if one of your teammates is an idiot and mispositions and gets picked off really easily at the start of the fight, if you have your respawn placed somewhere smart close by the team fight, you get your 6th teammate back instantly, and that fight is not a complete throw. And especially in low yellows, like, people are always getting picked off for random reasons. So having this BRB is a lifesaver. So you're not saving your team with like a crazy ult that saves your team. You're saving your team because you're doing a lot of work to prevent trickling and keep your team at 6 stack, even if somebody misplays and dies. This is the great equalizer, and this is what helps Rocket carry games. Not only that, it spits out armor packs and jump packs periodically. These are the armor packs. They'll give whoever picks it up 25 extra health, which, you know, it's better than nothing. And then these are the jump packs, which actually give you super jump. So if you hit your spacebar to jump, you have to hit it twice. You get a huge jump, and you go up in the air and you can glide down, and then you can just bombard people, do whatever you want to do. Use it to get out of chase against divers, etc., etc. Then his ultimate basically throws out this huge beacon. You can place it under cover, but this bad boy has 800 health and increases your damage by 40%. So basically anybody within 12 meters of this is just gonna melt. Like, look at it. We literally just insta-delete, basically, at close range. So now we've explained Rocket's kit. He does have 2 team abilities. If you're playing with the Groot, you can get on Groot and you guys get a 35% damage reduction. I don't like doing that because I really like to be in control of where I'm moving and what I'm doing. Unless my Groot's about to die, then I'll jump on him real quick to give him that damage reduction and then just heal him while I'm on top of him. His second ability is a deployable beacon, which is really good for Punisher and Winter Soldier. It gives them infinite ammo and increases their rate of fire. So if you play with a Punisher and a Winter Soldier as Rocket, you can basically make them absolutely cracked. So now, how do we weave this all together? We've explained his abilities, we've explained what he's doing. How does Rocket play? Now, when you're playing Rocket, and another cool thing about Rocket is he's so small, he's got a really small hitbox, so he's kind of hard to hit. And the reason why, when I was searching for a support main, I was playing like Luna and Mantis, because those are like, you know, the meta healers that people really like. Blah blah, they're super good, but I was really struggling playing them because I wasn't that good at hitting like my stuns, like my ice shot or like my Mantis sleeps. So whenever I would get dived, I would just die, and they really do not have mobility anywhere as good as Rocket. And this is why Rocket is such an easy character to carry with. And I'm not saying you're going to carry as in you're going to have like a billion kills. This guy carries because your uptime on the battlefield should be 100%. Like, if you're playing Rocket correctly, and how I'm going to teach you in this video, you should almost never die. I have so many games with Rocket where I'm at 0 deaths and just a bunch of assists, a bunch of healing, and maybe a couple kills here or there, but we're not really focused on going for kills with Rocket. And I'll explain when to use your primary fire more here a little bit in this video. So with Rocket, what you want to do with him and to carry your games is basically you want to play back. You want to play back. You want to have line of sight on your whole team, and that's how you know you're in a good position. And all you can do is you spam out your heals. You spam out your heals to keep people topped off, and that's basically his playstyle. You just stay super back, and then you spam out heals. And now why I like Rocket more than Mantis and Luna is because of his survivability. If somebody dives you, they're going to have a hard time, because not only do you have 2 dashes, potentially a super jump, also you have this crazy wall crawl. And I'd say the hardest thing to learn on Rocket and get good at is basically his wall crawl ability. And I'll talk to you about some drills and stuff here in a little bit. So basically, the only thing you have to do with Rocket to carry games is play back, have line of sight on your teammates, and literally just go full heal bot mode and spam out your heals. Now, you might think this is boring. Don't worry. As you get better at the game, you will know when are the opportunities to use your main gun. So what I would say, as far as your main gun goes, so let's go over here into the other zone so I can kind of show you the lag delay or his slow projectile speed. His projectile does a lot. It's really good in close range, but it's really not the best at range. So here, let's go change our settings. We'll switch this to like Spider-Man. And then we're gonna have them just moving. Well, just have them moving horizontal at like a quick speed. Disable the timer, disable this music, and apply. All right, so now we're gonna activate this. So now I'll show you why it's really not the best idea to shoot people at range with rocket. So with his, notice, like if I'm aiming at Spider-Man, notice how hard it is to kind of hit my shots as I'm like following him. I'm hitting a couple of them basically when he walks into it, but because the projectile travels so slow, you have to be really good at like leading your targets to make sure your bullets connect. And it's even worse at longer range. Like I said, at 20 meters, he has 40% damage fall off. So it's basically gonna take a whole clip to kill someone at far range. Now, if you're at close range and you have an easy shot, it's basically instant delete on a person. So when do you use your gun? So the main reasons I would say to use your primary fire is, one, if you see someone who just has like a sliver of HP left, like they're super, like look, even like close range, I'm kind of struggling to hit the Spider-Man a little bit. So if you see someone who's like just really low, yeah, go try to take the shot, finish him off. I haven't warmed up my aim today, guys. Forgive me. So option one, if someone's really low, you need to finish them off. Option two, if you're getting dived and you have no other options, like 99% of the time, I would say when you get dived, you need to dash away and you need to run away. You need to wall crawl and just get to high ground, get somewhere safe. It's so easy to escape basically almost every dive character with rocket. And that's why I chose to main him, because I didn't like playing healer and I didn't like getting dived and just insta killed and deleted and focused by the enemy team. I like rocket because he's got crazy sustain and he's super hard to lock down. So option one, if someone's about to die, sliver of health left, sure, throw out your gun, go ham. Option two, if you're getting chased and you have nothing else left and you lure them into a dark alleyway, they think you're running, and they come around, just delete them, just delete them. They don't expect it, and it's super funny when it happens. Option three, if you have another healer, let's say I have a Luna on my team and she's casting her ultimate and she's healing me and my teammates and everybody's topped off and nobody needs heals, then go ham, do whatever damage you can, spray, go shoot like a madman. That's also fine to go for the kills. And then if you have like a teammate who's like getting doved and they're really not killing the person who's diving them fast enough, sometimes in those situations, it's better, instead of healing them, to just shoot your gun and hurry up and just delete them and then heal them. And that takes some game sense to get used to. So now we've talked about his fire and now we've talked about his BRB. So all the skill with rocket basically comes down to your BRB, making sure like you never ever want to place this out in the open. Like never, guys. I 100% guarantee you, like don't ever throw it out in the open. Even if you're like in overtime on the point, just find some corner, some hallway that's out of line of sight from the vision, that's close enough to your team, and just throw it, because that free respawn is super powerful and it doesn't take a lot for somebody to shoot it down. So that's basically the skill with rocket, is like placing your BRB smartly and then getting good at your wall crawl. So what I would recommend is just come into the try mode and just practice wall crawling. Now there's actually a setting. I think my setting got messed up because my wall crawls aren't good right now. Let me go check my settings real quick. I had this issue before. Hold, oh my God, advance vertically upwards. Yeah. So you want to change this setting to advance towards your crosshair because it makes it so much easier to crawl, guys. Oh, I don't know why my settings got changed. Sometimes when I change my hotkeys, they randomly just get changed for some reason. So that's why my wall crawls have been ass. Okay, so now I can actually wall crawl. So look how much easier it is to wall crawl by changing that setting. So what I want you to do as rocket is the two main things. Like I said, if you're just playing healbot mode and just staying in a position where you can see your team and just keep them healed, you're gonna win a lot of games. All the skill with rocket comes to learning how to like maneuver this wall crawl well, and then getting used to the lag on your primary fire. So you can come here, load these guys up in the try mode, and really just get the feel of like aiming at them and noticing that like lag time on your primary fire. And that's it, guys. You master those two mechanics, get used to dashing, get used to wall crawling, and that's basically all the skill that comes with rocket besides game sense and kind of how to play them. So now, all right, guys, and now the last two times I would say you want to use your gun, and I've done this. This is more advanced stuff, and I don't want you really trying this when you're learning out Rocket for the first couple games, but when you get more advanced and sink some more time in the character, you can do things like this. So another thing, like say my whole team's healed and they don't need any healing, and the enemy team's coming from that point over there, you can really like use Rocket to just get into some crazy positions, like just wall crawl up in the air, get to the high ground, and then just kind of spam some fire and put some pressure on them. You can also, if you have like a flanker on your back line and nobody's dealing with them, you could just fire a couple shots, do some damage on them, and just make them run away and go for healing. You don't want to like overcommit, because I guarantee you, if you take your eyes off your teammates, like especially if you're playing with potatoes, like I always play with, like if I like turn around to shoot my gun and I turn back, my team is basically half dead if I'm not spamming heals on them. People are just really not good at positioning in this game, so you don't ever want to look away from your teammates for too long. But if you have someone shooting you here and nobody's getting them out of your face, just throw some bullets at them, get them out of your way, and then go back to healing your teammates and mainly focus on this. And then you can do some cheeky things like try to go up in the sky, get off angles, try to pressure them if your teammates don't require healing. Only if your teammates don't require healing. And then the last advanced thing I would say you could do with Rocket that's really cool and funny. Let's say they have a really good Hella, Hawkeye, Iron Man, or Storm, and your DPS is a bunch of potatoes, and they really can't aim, and they're not pressuring them or diving them or getting them off the high ground. Sometimes what I'll do with Rocket is I'll use his great maneuverability to just go for a flank. I'll just like wall crawl into position. He's really small, easy to miss. You've also got 2 dashes, and I'll literally fly up to like an Iron Man or a Storm right behind him, and I'll just let loose a clip and lead him out of the sky. And I'll also like flank and go for like Hawkeyes and Hellas who are just by themselves on a high ground, get behind them and delete them. I don't do this a lot. Like this is like last ditch effort. Like if my team is just ignoring those threats and I see that they're getting way too much value, I'll go take care of it myself. I don't like to do that. You really want to basically just be focused on healing when you're playing Rocket, but those are options you can do with Rocket. So now let's hop into a game, and I'll kind of teach you guys everything I've been talking about in this episode, but I'll show it to you in a real world application and walk you through kind of like my mindset and my playstyle as I'm playing Rocket Raccoon. Okay guys, so we're hopping into a replay, and actually one thing I forgot to mention on the tutorial or the guide was that whenever you're in spawn, the 30 seconds before you go on attack and defense maps, you want to throw your BRB down in spawn, because this will generate armor packs and jump packs for your team, so that way you guys can all start the fight with the extra health points and the double jump for some occasions. So anyways, we'll watch this replay and I'll kind of break down my mindset as I'm like playing this game. I don't remember this replay. This is one of the replays I saved with Rocket. I tried playing some competitive and narrating like I did with Captain America, but I'm borderline gold and plat. Actually, I got plat, and then I fucking went 0-4 and lost plat, so I'm hella triggered. So basically all I'm doing right now is clearing the penny mimes, letting my tanks push on in the front, and basically what we're doing is we're just staying on the backside, and we're literally just going to be healing, keeping eyes on our teammates. And like I said, we got a forgiven radius on our heal ball, so I've checked my other teammate real quick, and I'm literally just spamming out heals, and I'm just staying back. I haven't thrown down my respawn yet because I want to cover a little bit more ground, because we're really close to the main spawn, so really there's not much point. Venom's trying to dive me. He's gonna have a hard time. I just do a dash away. He doesn't actually commit to it, but we had a second dash, and then we had a wall crawl we could have used as a last ditch effort. So now I'm actually gonna throw my respawn in here. It's good, it's under cover. I got my whole team here blocking the entrance, and they're not going to flank from the other side because the whole team's here on this other side. So I got that there, so if we lose a man or somebody gets picked, they're literally going to respawn. And actually someone got picked, but literally we pause the replay. You'll see they're already back in the fight. I don't even have to pause the replay. By the way, I didn't know that I thought Captain American's skin got taken out of the game before I even had a chance to buy it, or before I even played the game. Anyways, so honestly, this is all we're doing. We're heal bot rocketing. We're staying behind our team. We're spamming out some heals, and we're just healing. Oh, I do remember this replay. So this replay, actually, our Mantis disconnects halfway through, so I'm like the only healer for a hot minute, but we still managed to clutch it out, I think. So anyways, we're generating some momentum, and literally, I ain't doing anything crazy. All I'm doing is just healing, playing back, utilizing my respawn, and that's it. And I think this was one of my games I played. I think I played this game a couple weeks ago. Since I've been playing more Rocket, I've definitely been using my gun a lot more. But in this game, I'm just basically devoted to healing. Alright, they're throwing out ults. I'm staying over here, throwing out my BRB. And I'm just healing. I'm back with Mantis. Mantis is playing pretty well too, because she's playing back with me. And I'm just making sure I can keep my teammates in my frame of reference. Not doing anything crazy, just keeping everybody topped off and letting my team do work. Venom going in. Oh, I think our Captain America was pretty ass this game too. Maximum pulse coming. I dash away. Don't know where it's coming from. Just making sure I clear some space. Team manages to live. Topping everybody off. Giving Mantis some heals. And then you see this is all you got to do is rock it. We got our ult. We'll probably throw it here in a second. Yeah. Alright, so see Mantis is popping her ult, so I know my team has healing from her. I pop damage boost, and I go in and I just try to fucking put out some damage to help my team get these kills. We actually end up getting Venom there, which is pretty cool for us. But right now, I know I don't need a heal because Mantis popped her ult and our whole team's getting healing. Her ult's done now, so I'm going to shift back to healing. And we're just playing super safe. Not really getting dive too heavy. Throwing out a little damage now because we got them on the defense and they're pulling back. And we got a couple picks. There's Iron Man behind us. So I'm just keeping an eye. I know he's trying to do an Omega Pulse on us. But we're just gonna push, make sure we have some cover to haul back too. I throw my BRB right there. It's undercover. It's not gonna be easy to snipe unless they have someone flanking. But they don't actually have any flankers. They've got like I guess Wanda maybe, but she's not really, she's kind of a flanker. And that's it, man. We're pushing the payload. They're really not doing a good job contesting, and I'm keeping my teammates just hella topped off. Wanda's ulting. I got some cover here. I ain't worried about it. End up losing 3 of my teammates there. I don't know for sure if I had my BRB in time. It might have been a misplay on me not throwing it out in time, but right now I know I just need to back up. Uh-oh. Why did game freeze? Okay, that was weird. The replay froze. I didn't actually manage to get out and I died. I'm not sure why the replay froze. I think the replay knew I was about to die and didn't want me to see it. But anyways, we got picked there. That's our first death. So we're going back in. We're playing safe. Nothing crazy, guys. We're just playing back and we're just literally heal botting and letting our teammate do what they gotta do. Throwing some heals out from Iron Man, and like I said, you don't have to really aim much. Like, even though, like, usually flyers are hard to heal for skill shot healers, but with Rocket, you just throw a heal ball up there. That diameter is so forgiving, they get healed and topped off. Alright, so we got our ult again. Mantis popping her ult, I'm doing the same thing, throwing out my ult, and we're just gonna be trying to dish out some damage to mow down these tanks a little bit. I'm not trying to go for like clutch like picks like the DPS or the healers. I'm literally just shooting who I can get to safely without overcommitting. And it's to help put out a little bit more damage output. But now Mantis ult's done. I'm shifting back to healing. And we're just trying to get some progress here. Alright, we got that Iron Man. Good. And I'm just playing back. Trying to keep my teammates in my field of view. I keep turning around because I'm paranoid about that Iron Man. We got him picked though, but I think I was worried about Iron Man. And also just checking, make sure my other teammate had full health. And that's basically it, man. Spamming some balls on the board. You take a little damage. Really good Groot wall there. And we're going to be able to push this. No issues. God, I hate that I don't have that Captain America skin. Oh shit! So, I find cover, I dash. We get out of the way. Wanda's coming in too. I see Iron Man up there. Throwing some heals from my Iron Man. And that's it, man. We're pushing the payload. Really can't ask for more than this. And I think at this point, okay, we still have our Mantis. I think she's gonna disconnect here pretty soon. Got ult again. And actually, me and Mantis are doing really good. Like, we're kind of popping our ults at the same time. So we're getting healing and damage. And then I'm going into DPS mode just for a little bit. Ult's over, going back to healing, trying to keep my team alive. Teammates there doing a little bit of ricochets to get to him. And we're not doing anything crazy, just playing with their team, spamming some heals. Probably pull back a little bit, but I don't really feel like I'm being too pressured, so I'm kind of comfortable playing up here. And we got some shielding from Mantis too. Alright, throw my respawn. Again, in a place of cover that's not going to easily get sniped. And we're just pushing. Spamming heals, and honestly, whenever people funnel up like in little corners like this on your team, it makes it really easy for you to heal, but keep in mind that it also makes it really easy for the enemy team to like get you, especially if they have AoE damage. But in this case, they don't really have too much. It's mainly just Iron Man, but my team's doing an amazing job dealing with him. Clutch little BRB throw there before that wall respawns, so I know it's undercover. And we got a respawn here, a very aggressive respawn, so whoever dies is going to be back in the fight. And actually, this Captain America is getting really close to dying. They're popping in ult. We're just going to keep our team healed, pull back a little bit. I think I wait out the ult before I throw out my damage ult, because we're not really going to kill anything with Luna here. And honestly, my team should be pulling back more, because really we ain't going to do anything with their ult. Now, we're going to drop our ult. And yeah, and actually at this point, it's literally just me solo healing. So I'm going full healer right now, because our other healer DC'd. And I think this was a ranked match too, if I'm not mistaken. Cloak's coming to me, do a little wall crawl maneuver, get out of the way. She gives up on me. I go back to showdown heals. I see this Iron Man here. Okay, this is my Iron Man. I'm getting the Iron Man's confused. I keep forgetting I'm red team. Spamming some heals on the guy who's on the point. He dies. I'm going to top off Groot. And we're kind of struggling here because we are man down. I'm literally the only healer. And you can tell, like, I can't even really look away from my team. If I look away for a second, my team is going to get melted. We lose the Groot. We're in the final 10 seconds. And I'm literally just doing all I can to keep Iron Man alive. I'm pushing up to the point just so he can stall it a little bit longer. Iron Man ulting, I pull out. Spamming some heals. They got a Wanda here, I need to back up. Oh, actually. Oh, I'm surprised that didn't hit me. Alright, and we're playing in overtime right now, man. I'm just trying to really keep my tanks healed up so they can stay on the point. They got some walls. Iron Man's trying to come in for me a little bit. But I'm staying up a little closer here because the payload is in overtime. And I'm ready to jump in if I need to. Alright, so I think we got our Mantis back now. Okay, cool. So we got our Mantis back. So now we got 6v6, so we might actually be able to push this. Nothing fancy, guys. Just staying behind my team, keeping as many of them as I can in my frame of view, and just spamming out these heals like crazy, especially on the point. Because we really can't leave the point. And that's kind of where Rocket shines. When my teammates are all clumped up like this, I am pumping out so much healing output. And I think this game, yeah, this game was before Rocket's healing actually got buffed. So his healing's actually a bit better than it is in this thing. I throw my BRB right there. That's probably the most exposed I've ever had it. But we're in overtime, and I want my whoever comes here to come straight to the point. Throw out my ult, get some damage boost, spamming heals. If somebody dies, we'll get them back here in a second. Switching to gun mode, trying to really get these guys off the point. And I think we're going to be able to cap it here. Well, actually, no, we're losing. No, we're good. We're good. We clear the team, and we managed to pull it out. So now we're switched to defense. And then I'll kind of show you how I played with the Rocket on defense. So we're on defense now, and where I like to put my BRB on this map is I throw it here on the high ground. People do not typically flank right on the high ground, and there's not an easy access for them to get to the high ground unless they cross the bridge here, like on this side. So basically what that's going to guarantee is whoever dies first is going to respawn on the high ground and have a good angle on the enemy team as they push the payload in. So that's really good. Like one of my DPS dies and they spawn up here, then they'll have a really good angle to, like, if like Namor died, he can respawn there, he could drop his turrets there and then just get a really good vantage point and maybe even shoot them from behind. And that's kind of my rationalization for putting the BRB over there this time. Captain America pushing way too deep. Iron Man ends up getting picked, but luckily I got the BRB. What game speed am I watching this on? I think this is normal speed. Spamming out some heals. They're being pretty aggressive. We end up losing our group. But luckily, because we had that BRB, we were able to offset some of the equilibrium. Captain America dies again. I don't have another respawn to get him back. So we really got to just give him some ground and pull back a bit. So me and Mantis are just pulling out. This Mantis played really well this game too. Like, we're both playing really back. We're just focused on healing and supporting and not doing anything too crazy. I'm throwing out some heals under cover. But really, we gotta wait for our tanks. We can't really contest this without our tanks. We're too squishy. Groot's coming. Throwing out some more heals. Throwing out my BRB. Kind of an aggressive spot. I'll switch to gun mode just because Captain America's by himself here and I really want to help get that pick. And now we're going back to healing. And I think we're actually going to hold a point. Throwing out some heals to Iron Man. Like I said, look at that radius. I just shoot one ball. He gets his heals. Mantis popping her ult. I actually don't have my ult this time. Throwing a few more heals out on Iron Man. And literally all I'm doing is I'm watching my team. I'm spamming heals. Groot got an ult going. I'm about to pop my ult after Luna's, I think. And we're doing good. We're getting picks. We're holding the point. Throwing out some damage. Maximum pulse coming. Ooh. Back out just in time. Wanda will come in too. Very, very not good. So anyways, I know they're going to come since they wiped a bunch of my team. So I literally dash and I wall run the hell out of there. And I'm just playing safe. I'm playing back. I got enough space to dip out. Waiting for my teammates. I'm going to throw my revive right there. Honestly, should have had a little more to the left. They might be able to get an angle on it if they come from the right side. Iron Man getting lit. Throwing some healing balls, like I said. Getting him topped off with Mantis's help there. And now we're just spamming out heals. We're spamming out heals. But like our Nomura, you can tell he's not the best Nomura. He's throwing the squids on the low ground. Like our Captain America and my Nomura weren't really the best in this game. But that's okay. We're just doing our job. We're healing and we're keeping these people alive. Throwing out a little damage here. I notice people are getting a little bit low. Switching back to healing. And like I said, you can't, like if you're shooting your gun, you're not healing. So you got to really focus on trying to spam out some heals. And we're managing to hold. Healing, keeping the team topped off. Checking on Iron Man. And just playing back, making sure I can keep an eye on my teammates and just throwing out some heals. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. And this is why I say Rocket is really good, especially if you're like a beginner or a newbie. He's really not hard to play well. You just play back, basically be heal bot mode. Like I said, all the skill comes from knowing when to use your gun and BRB placements and learning how to wall crawl. That's like the most mechanically hard thing about Rocket. Alright, Iron Man's getting lit. I probably should have healed Iron Man there. I switched to shooting him, trying to help give him some support since he was getting melted. Maximum pulse coming down. I dash out of the way. It's a whiff. Nomura gets revived with my BRB I just threw out. And we're just throwing out heals. I think I'm going to use my ult here in a second. Iron Man's back. We got our team. I'm going to throw out my ult. Throwing out some heals, ricocheting them off the walls. Actually end up losing our Captain America there. But I'm going to go ahead and throw my ult and push it since I don't have that many people. And now I'm switching to do some damage because I see that Captain America is pretty lit. Our Iron Man ends up finishing the job with his pulse charge. And we're just chilling. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Checking on my teammates, making sure they're topped off and healed. And just playing back, just playing smart. Iron Man coming on the flank again. I'm trying to ricochet some heals to him. Oh, I got a few heals off on him. And we actually managed to save him. Throwing my BRB undercover, and we got a nice forward respawn. So right now I'm feeling pretty comfortable because I know even if they get a pick, which they did just now, it's really not the end of the world because literally, as you can see, our Mantis is already back. And this is the power thing that I'm talking about with the BRB. Like that would have been a pick from them turning this to 6v5 and the respawn is really far away. It would have took Mantis forever to walk here, but because I had that BRB, we are still at equilibrium. Even though they got that pick, we still have 6 men, which is great because their one is still reviving at spawn. So we're managing to keep our balance and keep momentum going, or not lose too much momentum. And that's really the power of Rocket, is just having those BRB smartly placed and really just guaranteeing that even if they get a pick, you can still manage to stay in the game. Throwing some heals out, just playing back, topping off the more. Giving a little bit of space, but they got a while to go for the payload. And we're just healing. Groot's throwing out his ult. I'm spamming out heals, keeping my teammates alive. Their Mantis is ulting. Their Wanda's ulting. I dash the hell out of there, and I accidentally get blocked by that Groot wall and manage to bite the Wanda ult. So I think that's what, our second death? Alright. So now we're back. Teammate's probably going to fall apart since I'm not there to heal him. That's okay. So we lose our Captain America. We're trying to push back in. I see Namor there is pretty lit. And I'm actually going to try and... What do I do here? Yeah, I'm going to throw my BRB at some point. I think I threw it out already. Did I throw it out and just not see it? Okay, so that was kind of a bad play for me. I dashed out just to really try to stop the payload from moving, and I got instantly melted the second I stopped playing back. But it's also a really weird angle because I didn't have a good vantage point on my teammate. In retrospect, I could have just been ricocheting heal balls and really played safe from that tunnel there. But this is why we watch replays. We learn a lot from replays, and we see our mistakes when we watch replays. And nobody's perfect, guys. Everybody replays, and everybody gets tilted from time to time. At least most normal people. I don't know if you don't get tilted, but I get tilted. All right, we're trying to hold. I'm popping my ult, and I'm literally just throwing everything out. I'm popping some heals, doing some damage, trying to pressure that Iron Man, get him off my team. Playing on the point. Oh my god, right now I'm kind of wrestling between shooting my gun or healing. I saw Mantis was running away and no one's really putting pressure on the Scoot, which is why I wanted to shoot him. But Iron Man's literally getting free reign here. I dash out of the way so he can't shoot me anymore, and I go back to kind of healing my team from this corner here. And at this point I'm just gonna spam some heals. I'm just gonna spam healing. I get my BRB back, which is huge for us, which means if anybody dies right now, they're gonna literally be back in this fight, because this is literally the last fight. And Captain America does die, but he's not dead. He's right here back in the fight, and he has his ult, and I think we're actually gonna be able to hold it, and it'll be GG here. And if I didn't have that BRB, this point would have for sure been lost. But we got Cap back, we got Cap's ult, we got a pulse charge, and we actually held it. And like I said, guys, that BRB is so freaking strong. The main reason we held that, like, if Captain America died and had to go back to spawn, I don't think we would have held that. But he came back right away, and then he had his ult, and then we got the extra shielding from the ult while I'm spamming out heals away from the team, and managed to clutch it out. So basically, guys, that is how to play Rocket. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Sorry, I'm a little tired right now. My replay narration was a little choppy, but basically that's what you got to do when you play Rocket. And I hope you learned from this video. And until next time, have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Like the video too. Got this far. Like the video. Bye.